All right, Shalom. All right, the so-called Negro, Latino, North American Indian people, you are the Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. All right, whether you want to believe it or not, you're going to be under these circumstances. All right, and this is why we're going through the things that we're going through. Okay, so first and foremost, all praise, glory, and honor to the Heavenly Father.
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakha, Quadash.
Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the nation of Yasha Allah, better known as the GreatMillStone. Shalom to the elect, to the 1/3 and the 144,000 who we hope to help find, and death and destruction to 2/3 and all the wicked. We'll jump right into James, the 3rd chapter today. Yeah. And we'll start around about the, I think I'll start at verse, you know what, we'll just start at the top. We'll just start at the top.
All right, James 3:1. My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body.
Right, so control, self-control, self-restraint, right? Don't be a master in too many things, right? Because it's harder to focus on when you have multiple tasks taking place, right? So coming into this truth, it does take one of those focuses, right? So that's why you gotta, Yahweh Shai was even saying, you gotta get rid, you gotta be able to lose things and get rid of things, okay? You gotta be able to lose and get rid of things, because if, you get a lot to juggle. Now, first coming in, you make this your first priority, so that you can develop all the proper habits, and then once you get more seasoned over time and through experience, then at that point you can tack on more and more things, So it is different for everybody, because someone might have the discipline to where that's not going to affect them, right? Someone may already have a business, they're a father, they got personal matters going on with family, maybe legal things, and then they got to, they're coming into this truth that someone that might break somebody, and other people it'd be as if it was a smooth transition, okay? So it said in verse 2, if any man offend not a word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle or control the whole body. You see? Hey. So small scale, big scale. If you can control your tongue, right, and what you say, you should be able to control even more things, right? So small scale, big scale. All right? Keep going.
Verse 3. It says, behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold also the ships, which though they be so great, and are driven of fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth.
See? And same thing modern day with your vehicles. You have all this power and torque, and just as easy as it is with that power steering you got, you're able to control this thing, Who was that? Bill Burr was making a joke about it, driving. He's all, all I got to do is turn my wheel just a little bit and I'm famous. Just take all these people out. In Vegas, they have these posts just like that all along the roads, because there's people that are constantly drunk, even driving. You've had it to where people would drive into people. And so they put all these posts up around the city, especially downtown, and it saves people's lives, you see? So the same concepts, right? Putting a bit in a horse's mouth, you control it. These massive machines, whether they're digging for ores or, moving freight, these massive machines are controlled with just the smallest of things, right? But it does take great care and attention. So in that same thing, our day-to-day operations ought to be very similar. Right? It's that serious of a thing. Like, you have to get certified to operate some of these things. Same thing with the spirit. You got to be certified to operate with this. Okay. And then you got to stay certified. That's a whole nother thing. Now, if someone who's uncertified comes into this, there's examples through the scriptures of what's happened. The spirit, that evil spirit will come out and say, hey, Yahweh Shai I know, Paul I know, who the hell are you? They'll mess you up. This isn't a game. This isn't something you can just play with. See, so you got to stay, keep that seriousness about it, okay? Go to verse 5. Oh, can I read that?
Hebrews 12 and 11. It says, now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. And I was reading that because, you know, like the brother's saying, you know, you're going to receive some sort of chastisement along your journey in this truth, which is mandatory in order for you to stay in the truth, right? But the end result of that chastisement is peaceable fruits of righteousness, because you've been exercised, you know, the Spirit's pretty much been exercised in you, you know?
That's where the wisdom comes in of things. To know something is great, but to exercise the wisdom of it, to move away from assumptions and move with more discernment. You see? You want to be able to discern more. Go ahead.
This is 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. It says, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahweh Shai Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates.
Yep, you see? Know ye not your own selves, man. And see, so, because, you know, this truth is actually easy. You know, all you're doing is regurgitating stuff. So when you first come in, you're that toad. You know, you're a monkey and you're a parrot, and very easily you're gonna work your way to the toad. But you don't want to be stuck being a toad, because, you know, learning the breakdowns is repetitive information. Learning precepts, that's, you know, you remember, you know, trying, you know, sometimes brothers still do it. You know, you got flashcards, yeah. You know, and you know, quizzing and testing each other all the time, right? Which is good and expedient, right? But that's the easy part. It's just information retention. That's easy. The hard part to this truth is embodying and living and walking the proper way with control. That's the hard part. Because there's a balance between, there's a balance between condemning, teaching, you know, prophesying, warning people, right? And then even, letting some people, they're willingly ignorant. They don't want to know, right? So you still got to wash your hands off. But you got to know when you actually need to go and, you know, execute this or that, or, you know, whatever the case is. So yeah, there's always going to be a balance. But that's the hard part, balance. Balance is the hardest part. Also, Gabar used to say that a lot, you know? And the Most High tells us that too, you know? False balance is an abomination with the Heavenly Father. That's in Proverbs, 30th chapter. Yep. Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach in the Apocrypha. My son, if thou come to, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
You see? Make not haste in time of trouble. It's like the brother was saying, you're going to be chastised coming into this thing, right? But don't make haste. Don't be so quick to leave and run away from these things that you've been taught. In those moments of that chastisement, that's your opportunity to rehearse and grow. That's your moment. If you keep running away from your moments, you're never going to grow. Every opportunity, every interaction is an opportunity for growth. You know, it's okay to be happy, man. You know, because Jakes will come into this thing and, you know, it's all doom and gloom, you know, and, you know, you got to be this way and you got to be this, you know, type. You don't have to. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be happy. It's okay to to be peaceable. Okay, because Yahushua said if this was his kingdom, then his servants would fight. We're not in the time. We're not in that time right now. Our war is a spiritual warfare, so it's more intellectual. It's a game of chess, not checkers. Okay. So bridling your tongue, and I say this also because of seeing some of how these other camps operate and dealing with the cops. There's been so many instances where you don't actually have to get arrested if you would have just behaved better.
Yeah.
A lot of shit can be
alleviated
by better behavior. And here's the thing, for those of us that are getting older and older in this thing, it's like, damn, at what point do you recognize you're not a 20-some-year-old kid no more?
Yeah.
And it's crazy to say that, a 20-some-year-old kid, because that's how 20-year-olds behave. People that are like that, Kevin Samuels, he'll go into the importance of men, getting to 35 before they find a woman, establishing themselves, learning things, actually becoming something, solidifying themselves, and then you can get a woman, in your 20s, the same age, she's gonna have this college degree, she knows, things better than you. She's gonna be looking for the moon and the stars still. This is why when you were in school, females were always going out with older guys.
Yeah.
The older guys were going for the younger chicks because you don't want some woman to constantly contest you, right? Same thing with our relationship with Yahweh Shai. You got to be more be the person that He wants you to be, right? You got to be the change that you want to see. Okay.
If I may say, yep. A lot of the men in the scriptures didn't have children until they was well up in age.
Yep.
They was more focused on building legacy, so to say. Establishing themselves versus just just trying to have a woman and have children and all that.
Right. Yep. Verse 5.
James 3:5. Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth.
See, tongue being a small thing, it can boast great things, and it can kindle a fire. You see, that's why the scriptures also talk about spitting on the fire, quenching it. A soft answer even turn away wrath. Agree with thine adversary while he is in the way with thee, lest he throw you into prison. And it says quickly. You see, that's the hard part of this truth, is actually executing the proper behaviors. So seeing these other camps go through the things they go through, putting up pictures where they're all in their Super Saiyan clothing, talking about, we wish a mother effer would. Like, man, really though, you don't want that, man.
Yeah, you don't wish
You're
nobody
asking
would.
for evil spirits to come.
Right.
I wish a motherfucker would, and then when he does, and then you ask for it.
Yep. And see what that's projection. A person like that, they have so much anger and hatred and basically demons on them, to where they're always in that, like, hey, you're the like, they project that energy outward, so they always attract it. Like the brother's saying, you're looking for it. You're inviting that demon. It's going to come find you. Go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 6. It says, a fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul.
See? The lips can be the snare of his soul. See? Yeah. It's been a minute. You got to blow the dust off that one.
You blow the dust
see?
off that joke.
And that's a whole other point too. A lot of these other camps, you don't see them talking about the behavior of people. They just say, oh, you women are out of order, but we'll go into it. How so? You dudes are bugged out and out of order. How so? Go into it. Because this is becoming the new creature is prophetic, man. The Most High isn't looking for a lot of Israelites, man. He's only looking for 1/3, okay, and 144,000. He's only looking for his elect, okay. There's not a lot of people that are gonna receive this, because you got Israelites that'll teach that are 2/3, and you got 2/3 waiting to become 1/3, man. So us coming out and going out, hey, we don't want to be the narrative that they put out there. Oh, those angry black men all the time. Nah, man. Hey, we wave at you. You know. It took us a while to stop flipping people off. You know. Hey, but we can talk about that because we're as you're changing. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about those experiences. Those guys, they can't talk. They can't say nothing like that because they're not going through it. You see?
So one more verse. Dropping down to verse 21. It says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof."
See? Death and life are in the power of the tongue. This is why people get into the whole, manifesting, things. But hey, you really can, man. You believe, you pray, you ask, you can receive, man. That's the thing is, are we not supposed to be looking for, those, we're not as those who have no hope. We're slinging faith and hope out here, man. The Most High has given us this grace period, okay, for and that's what Yahushua said. When He returns, will He find faith in the earth? So we're trying to find those faithful also. So when you know what you're trying to catch, now you can use better bait.
Yep.
If you don't know what you're trying to catch, what are you gonna use? Are you gonna use a bear trap to catch a bird? It's not gonna work.
Hey, I watched this interview a long time ago where Snoop Dogg had said that song he made, "Murder Was the Case That They Gave Me." He said he actually made that song,
And then it happened.
and then he ended up killing somebody, and then murder was the case that they gave me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he said like this. Even he said you can be rapping some shit and actually that shit manifests.
Bring it to life, yeah. See,
Power of
life
the
and
tongue.
death is in the power, is in the tongue, man. Okay. Yep.
This is Ecclesiasticus 28 and 11. And hasty contention kindleth the fire, and in hasty fighting sheddeth blood. If thou blow the spark, it shall burn. If thou spit on it, it shall be quenched. And both these come out of the mouth.
See, hasty, that's an emotion reaction. That's not a logical reaction. When you emote is when you lose. When you emote, you're allowing someone else to control you. You're supposed to be able to, just like a child, you control their environment. Just like a pet, you control the environment. There's all these, I see videos of pet owners or parents, right? Good and bad. But a lot of the pet owners, the bad ones, they'll come home and their shit's all tore up. Well, why is it not in a crate? Why is it not trained? Why does it not know these things? You control those environments, you see? So being hasty, and the Most High even said that, he's not cool with feet that are quick to shed innocent blood, man. You can't be a rash and hasty with decisions, man. See, that's why you have the ability to use discernment. Experience is going to give you that. Like, why is everyone running over there? Nah. And that's a common thing amongst the Southern Kingdom, especially. You see a bunch of white people running somewhere, you run the other way, type of thing. Yeah, we're not firefighters, man. In that regard, even myself, they run to the fire, right? Hey, not us. We run to a different type of fire. Okay, we exist in a different type of fire. Okay. So yep. When you spit on a matter, right? That's showing control. Just, hey, okay, well, it is what it is.
Verse 6. And the tongue is a fire, a rod of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell.
See? So the tongue, as small as that member is, it can do a lot of damage, man. You see it even with guys trying to teach the word, especially Edomites, non-Israelites, and you got Israelites that teach false doctrines too. But where does it come from? It all comes from the tongue, man. And it can set a whole world ablaze. You got Edomites talking about the Most High doesn't hate Esau. He hates Esau in a different kind of way. It's like, nah, man, that's not at all. And then they want to be this, because God loves the world. No, this is only talking to the Israelites, man. This wasn't a worldwide inclusive thing. So you see how a tongue can spread and make things worse, okay, for a lot of people, okay? Putting out a false doctrine, man, that's not something to play with, you know? Okay, verse 7.
Verse 7, for every kind of beast and of birds and of serpents and of things in the sea is tamed and have been tamed of mankind.
Right, going back to Genesis, where Adam was made Lord over all things, right? And we were given dominion over animals. We're the top apex predator, right? That's why talked about this last week. Out in New York, they had that zoo exhibit between the, was it the gorilla and orangutan, or gorilla and a tiger? Between them, they had that placard that said, this is the most dangerous animal in the world, and it was the mirror. It was a mirror. So as a human stain, they're like, damn, yeah, humans destroy and put other things into extinction, man. Humans can cause almost irreversible damage, man. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 8, but the tongue can no man tame, it is an unruly evil full of deadly poison.
Right, and that's also why we need a new body, you see? This is why even talking about getting a new body and talking about the hope and having the faith to get it, we can bring that into existence, you know? Especially if we are of that number. So if you're hoping to be that number, act like it, right? Wouldn't you want to, you know, fit into the mold? You can't make the mold fit you. You got to fit into the mold. See? So there's a huge lack of that, and as things get worse out here for these people, you're going to see them lose more of their humanity, and we're going to increase in it, man, with discernment. You know, we're going to increase the right way, man. And that's what also is going to freak these people out. Our behavior. That's why the other nations, they're going to say of Israel, like, man, surely this is a true and a wise people because of the way that we govern ourselves, man. The way that we handle ourselves. Everything is for a reason. This world is out of whack, man.
That's right.
You know, this world is just, it's upside down, but the Most High is going to turn it right side up. And we want to be a part of that process, man. Okay. Where are we at? Verse 8? Verse 9? Still
James
talking
3:9.
about, yep, still talking about the tongue.
It says, therewith bless we the Most High, even the Father, and therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of the Most High.
Right.
Out of the same mouth proceeded blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so to be.
Keep going.
Doth a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter? Can the fig tree, if I may say, there was this brother had posted something early in the week where there's certain places on the earth where, you know, an ocean and a sea of meat and different colors. And you know, the salt water and the fresh water or whatever, it never mixes.
They don't mix, yeah.
It never mixes.
Different densities and
Yep.
shit.
Yeah.
Sediments.
Yep. Different mixtures. You know?
Salt and minerals and all
Yeah.
that.
You can actually see it too when you're above it. You can see the two different waters. It's dope.
Yeah, one's clear, one's murky.
Yeah.
Yeah, we witnessed that a couple weeks ago.
Yep, sure did.
Verse 12. Can a fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries, either a vine figs, so can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh.
See? Because like that brother said, the densities, they clash. So you see what James is getting at, right? He's saying, look, man, fix and correct your behaviors. You know, you have control over your tongue, do you not? Stop being so emotional. You know, think. You know, think before you act. Your brain can process. No computer can match the processes and the calculations that you can with your mind. You know, seeing something, thinking that you know, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to get the words out because your brain is so quickly at processing things. So take that extra second. You know, live in those moments, man. You know, recognize those incidences for opportunity, growth opportunities, man. Because if you just you come in and you're that same young man for 10, 12 years, that's definitely not no growth. That's definitely not no growth. How are you going to become wise if you stay in that young man mentality? You have to change. You have to change. Become the new creature, man. Keep the old man out, Keep the old man out, man. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness and wisdom, meekness of wisdom.
See? So
And the prophet.
right. As you get older, your conversation, you should be a better conversationalist, right? So if you're a recluse, you're the type to where you just, to and from work all the time, and then to camp and to and from work all the time. You're not getting enough interactions, right? So you need more conversation. You need to learn, right, the ins and outs of things. Myself personally, I like meeting people. I like networking. I like finding mechanics, plumbers, tradesmen, doctors, lawyers. I like, hey, it's summertime, man. You know how many events are going on right now?
Yeah.
That you could go and practice being wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, and blending into things and checking stuff out. Museums, all types of stuff is open, right? So you want to go and gain those experiences and give yourselves these opportunities to experience and fulfill even this part and portion of the scriptures. I'm not saying don't ever be angry. That's not at all what I'm saying. Because there's a time and a place for everything. Okay? But your tongue, it can get you in a lot of trouble. It can even get you out of a lot of trouble. But you need to exercise these things.
Zombie response.
Yep. You need that.
Verse 14.
Con, yep.
This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 11. It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
You see? What is Peter talking about? The destruction to come. We know what's coming, right? So as we come out, we tell people, look, America's going to be destroyed, man. Trump is doing a great job doing that. He's an idiot. He fucked a lot of shit up, which was perfect. Okay, he rode the coattails of the previous administration. Okay, and that's a whole nother conversation because that's a bitter point for some people. Yeah. But look, knowing what's to come, the destruction to come. Hey, knowing the terror of the Lord, we therefore persuade men, man. You see? So there's a conversation, right? A way that you carry yourself that's supposed to reflect that meekness of an old man. So as you're getting older, because the young man mindset is, oh man, you got gray hair, oh dang, oh dang. But it's like, okay, well, what does it really mean though? Like, you gotta express that. You gotta show your wisdom with your age. Remember where we a couple of weeks back we were going into the unspotted life of old age.
Mm-hmm.
The gray hairs. Yeah, you know where it's at. You got it. Yep. Don't forget that camera.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 8. It says, for honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time, nor that is measured by number of years. But wisdom is the gray hair unto men, and an unspotted life is old age.
See, an unspotted life is old age. So the less altercations and stuff you get into, you're not gonna have these problems. I saw this video clip, it's kind of old, but this Jake was trying to deliver a pizza, and this guy comes out of the house mad about it, and they took the pizza, the carry bag away from him. The pizza dude pulled his gun out. It was like, man, he got everyone on the ground on the floor, and he was like, man, stop messing with me, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So, if you want, why is a guy delivering food and you're stopping him and trying to get mad at him when he's just doing his job?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You're not gonna live long. You keep having that type of energy, man. You see? You're not gonna live long. So what you put out, right, is what's really going on the inside, man. That's another thing or truth that a lot of people don't want to face. Is a lot of times people will project, you know, what's going on inside them outward. It's a natural thing that we do. You know, people tell their story, you know what I'm saying, through the what's going on inside them. It comes out on the outside. You see it in behavior. You see it in behavior. Okay? So as we are watchers and judges and, you know, prophets, you know, students, disciples, followers, we got a lot of hats on, you know? But you don't want to be too many teachers because you're still being taught yourself, right? So this truth is a focus. Like I said, the easy part is all the the stuff you just memorize. You know, oh, this, you know, breakdown and, you know, the book, chapter, verse to this, and, you know, what's this word mean? That's all the easy part. The hard part is the balance of your behavior, is the balance of this scripture. That's the hard part. This is the good fight of faith. Because this is easy. Standing outside here is easy, man. You know what I mean? People stand and walk all day. What's so hard about this? You know? There's nothing difficult about that process. Okay? Go ahead. You guys got precepts?
I got one.
You got one? Okay.
This is Ephesians. You quoted this earlier. Ephesians 4 and 26. It says, "Be ye angry, and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath."
Yep, and that goes back to I think it was verse 6, where it said, "And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity." You see? What was that again?
Ephesians 4 and 26. It says, "Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath."
Right. Be angry and sin not. It's okay to be upset and frustrated, to have emotions. I'm not saying don't have emotions. I'm saying control them. Direct your fire. Don't be a volcano, be a laser beam. Don't be a waterfall, be a jet stream. You see what I'm saying? Be precise. Everything with reason. You know, the animals are the same way. They move, and the things they do is with reason. Their programming, they're made perfect in that regard. Okay? Go ahead.
All right, this is Sirach chapter 1, verse 22. It says, "A furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction. A patient man will bear for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up unto him."
See? A patient man, right? Joy is going to spring up unto him. That doesn't mean you're not going to go through stuff, but with the furious man, the guy was always that, you know, in your face type, you know, the bad bouncer, if you will.
Yeah.
Right?
Always the Incredible Hulk.
Always the Incredible Hulk, and never enough David Banner. You know, David Banner was the calm and what brought